Hi guys, Selena Walker here, naturopath, nutritionist and herbalist. And today I'm talking to you about tincture pressing. How many of you in your cupboards have jars and bottles, hopefully labels, you know what's in them, but you just haven't got around to pressing the tinctures out? I wanted to go through the process today as I'm needing to press my Tulsi tincture. So I thought I'd just take you along and talk you through it to hopefully inspire you to get pressing at home. So first of all, what's behind the curtain? Okay, so I put this curtain up for main reason only because herbs can't be exposed to sunlight. They can't be exposed to light. So when you see those Instagram gurus or Instagram celebrities, herbalists, and they're there dangling their herbs, drying in their kitchen, out in the sun, not what you want to do. There's a difference between someone that teaches you herbalism and wants to look good at doing herbalism. So what I've done here to hide, well not so much hide, but to protect my herbs. Just going to undo this first because it's quite loud, the Velcro. Ta-da! This is all my dried herb storage that I have left from last season. And these are tinctures that are waiting to be pressed. So I'm now going to get my Tulsi out, which I think is at the bottom. One of my Tulsi and the other one of my Tulsis. So I'm getting these out ready to press. And I'm going to close this back up so it's not exposed for too long, and then you can come along in the journey and I'll show you how to press these tinctures. Okay, so we're ready to get started. So the very first thing is the reason we press a tincture is to separate the made brewed medicine, which is the tincture, from the spent plant material. So you end up with your tincture, which is the alcohol with all the medicinal qualities in it, and your mark, which is the leftover spent plant material. It's a bit like making a cup of tea. You put your tea bag in or your fresh herbs, you pour the hot water on, but then you can take the tea bag out and the spent herbs because all the goodness is in the tea. Exactly the same with the tincture. Now there's all kinds of ways you can press tinctures. I'm going to show you two ways. One thing is you don't need any equipment such as this. You just need some kind of muslin cloth, and believe me, these will change colours. So at certain times these will have different colours. If I show you my tub, I've got some really white ones which haven't been used, but then all the truth being shown now, there's my very well used ones. Now they're clean, it's just that they have got stains on them. So I'm going to be doing a lot of Tulsi. So I think what I'm going to do actually is just grab that scissors there and I'm going to cut a fresh one because I've got a large amount of Tulsi to do while I talk to you. Okay, so the main thing, as I said, is you're pressing to separate the plant material from the medicine you've made. And lots of people get worried about tinctures, how long they need to brew for. I like to use macerate as the word, but I tend to use the word brew. Well, I always like to do it for at least 1 lunar month, so 1 month. Some people will press from 2 weeks, but also when they're in a jar like this here, and this one here, they're not going to go off because that's full of alcohol. So it won't go off. Now, these aren't filled right up to the top because I got a confession to make. I needed some for a client's prescription the other day, so I quickly siphoned off the small amount I needed, and then I can actually now press the whole lot. So if you've seen any on my shelf like that, that's why. Because sometimes, you know, it's just me and I have my apprentices twice a month, but it's a lot to keep on top of. So sometimes I'm doing kind of quality control of I need that now kind of scenario. So let's get on with the pressing. So I'm going to start by simply ignoring this for now because I want to show you how you can do it even if you don't have any equipment. So all you need is a bowl and your muslin cloth. Now the muslin cloth is much better than the colander because the colander will let bits of plant materials through. So I'm going to start with the small one because it might be easier to show. This is where I hope the jar isn't on too tight. There we go. So I'm simply going to pour that in, that amazing colour and smell. I really wish this was smell-o-vision. And just shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Now this is actually a glycerite, which I've shown in other videos before. That just means it's a mixture of alcohol and glycerin. And I use that with my Tulsi because it pulls through more of the volatile organic compounds and it gives a more balanced medicine. And it smells and tastes amazing. So the next step now is I'm just bringing all the ends together. And you can see it's dripping through. And I'm just going to gently encourage it through. A bit like when you make, if any of you make nut milk, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to squeeze. And this does become a bit of hard work on your hand when you're doing a lot of it. So you will see why I've got one of those. So you're just going to keep squeezing until you can't get any more out. So that's squeezed. Let's give it one more squeeze. There we go. You really want to squeeze as much as possible out because it's those final dregs, as I call them, dregs, that's going to be the most medicinal because that's when squeezing all the bits out of the plants. You really, really want to give it a good squeeze. And that's why I've got one of these. So what I'll do now is I'm going to, in here, there's one with holes, one without holes, and then you've got the nozzle on the end. And I'm just simply going to pop that in here. Now, this isn't what's called a tincture press, but it is. What do I mean by that? This is actually an apple press. If you search online for tincture presses, they are 10 times more expensive and you get the hydraulic ones. Now, I've used the hydraulic ones, thinking it would be less work. Not less work. This is a tincture press. I think it cost me £40 brand new. I've seen tincture presses. So this is an apple press, as I said, £40. I've seen tincture presses online. I've seen them about £900. I think I'll stick with this one, thank you. So you can get different sizes as well, which is great because it depends. Now, obviously, I'm working with litres at a time because I've got my apothecary, which I use with my clients. But you might be dealing with millilitres at a time. So you might want to get a smaller one. And that's the great thing about buying presses, fruit presses, like apple presses, because you can get really small ones as well. So this might make a loud noise on the microphone, but I'm simply now going to spin it down. There we go. So you can see I've raised that up because I don't want it to be too close to the bowl. Now the other thing is, you might have seen then, that swings. That's another thing to be aware of. So you've got two things. You can either do what I'm doing here, hold it there, or you can twist it round that way. So then when you come to turn it like that and it starts spinning, it knocks against here. So I'm just going to keep pressing down. It hasn't even touched the muslin yet. But it always amazes me how much extra you get out. And as I said, you're going to get out the dregs. And that's what you really want. It makes the medicine more potent. So you're going to keep squeezing it down. It does get a bit tough towards the end. It's a bit of a good workout. But you want to squeeze down as much as possible. Now, you don't want to squeeze to the point where you're going to start bending that bottom plate. But you want to squeeze until there's not much resistance left. Now, you might think, Selena, but there's nothing coming out. Aha. So satisfying because you know that is the strongest part of the medicine. And you might think, was that really worth it? Well, it is for me. Because that is usually, it can be a good, say, extra 50ml, 100ml. That can mean the difference between one person's prescription and being able to do one person's or two persons. So, again, another load. So that's brilliant. I never grow tired of hearing the dribbling sounds, technical term, because I know that means extra potent medicine. And I always find if you leave it for a few seconds, I don't know why, but usually find you can give it another twist. Now, it's more difficult when you've got glycerin on your hands because it's a bit slippery. There we go. So I've done it, I think I've done that 3 times. You can probably tell because you've been watching the video. One more for luck. if it's possible. Yes, just about possible. So I know when I'm really pulling it, when I start pulling a funny jib on my face, it's almost done. Yeah, I'm not going to get much more out of that. So let's see. See, all those add up. So it's definitely worth it for me. You have to work out whether it's worth it for you. You might have got extra strong hands and you're really comfortable doing it with your hands. Now, the other thing you can use is a potato ricer for small quantities. And the potato ricer replaces this. So you get to the point where you've squeezed it. You then open your potato ricer and you put the muslin in with the plant material, and then you can squeeze that a bit more. And that can be a bit better on your hands. So just give it one more tilt. Make sure every drop is out. So I'm now going to put that in my bottle. You can see I haven't got much. I don't know if you'll see that on the video. Haven't got much tulsi left. So I really want to top that up. And this is the bit where things can go wrong when I'm showing you things like this in the video, isn't it? Pouring and suddenly pouring everywhere. But again, I never grow tired of this sound. Glug, 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 glug. I get so happy with that sound because I just know I'm going to be helping clients soon with the medicine that's going in here. And just standing here doing this, breathing it in, I'm actually absorbing some of that amazing Tulsi sacred basil medicine. And it's that easy. So just to show you, ooh, that's the new lid for the next bottle. Let me reuse that. So on these, I put labels on. They're just the clicky ones. If any of you were like me, grew up in the 80s, you can probably remember these. So what I'm going to show you now, if I just move that out the way, is what the mark looks like. So again, because I'm going to be going the opposite way, I could either move this round, but I'm simply going to just hold it with my hand and unspin it. Unspin it? Is that actually a word? You know what I'm like with my words. There we go. So that's coming up now. Once it's up enough and the bottom plate that you can see rising now comes up, you can then slide that out. And then I can show you what's left. So in here is what, like I said, the mark. And you can see how dry that is. It's like a cake, isn't it? It looks beautiful, in fact, but it's completely dry. And that will now just go into the compost. And that is how you press a tincture. So hopefully that's inspired you to look at what's at the back of your cupboards. What have you been putting off? Because maybe you don't know how to do it, or maybe you've just been putting off. So hopefully this video has inspired you. Get pressing your tinctures. It's a great time of year to press your tinctures before the new season. So you've got all your jars and you can start fresh. So if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribing and liking the videos really helps me get the video out there and beat those pesky algorithms. If you want to connect more, you can head on over to my website, selinawalker.earth, and sign up to my free newsletter. Diolch am gwylio. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.